It's my 5-year Blogiversary! That's right, 5 years ago today, I started my very first blog. It actually was not called therealanna.com back then, it had a different name. And if you'd like to see my journey from those first days and those first images and my hair changes throughout and all of that journey, I have a blog post that I wrote for last year's Blogiversary at year number 4, so that is linked down below for you. And for this year, my 5-year Blogiversary, I thought it would be fun to do my first Ask Me Anything video. So I let my Twitter and Instagram followers ask me questions, and they hath provided. Also to celebrate, I am hosting a giveaway, and I will talk about that more at the end of this video. So I'm gonna go pour myself some hot chocolate, and then we are gonna get real about my life. Questions, let's get to some questions, yeah! Nobody asked me this question, but I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes. I often will chug my hot chocolate somewhere between the beginning fourth of the video because I get tired of holding it. I'm scared I'm gonna spill it, so I like drink it all and then I'm just like holding an empty mug the rest of the time. Jacob from Instagram asks, do you recommend YouTube as a viable option on top of blogging? So I have to put out my little disclaimer that I am no expert. I've been blogging for 5 years and I've been on YouTube for... Hold on, let me check. Anna has no concept of time. November 30th, 2018. I've been on YouTube longer than I thought. So, of course, this is my own personal opinion from my own personal experience and from what I've seen. But I would say that first to look at why you're doing what you're doing, like why are you creating content? Is it to make money? Is it to get yourself out there? Is it to get your ideas out there? Is it to help other people gain knowledge? Is it to document your journey, like, you know, to see your own growth with your writing? Or is it to work on, like, for your own personal growth? I would first take a look at that and to see, to be able to compare, like, is YouTube something that I'd want to add on top to also get me towards that main goal. And then secondly, I would look at how much time and energy you really have, because on the one hand, it's really great to be able to just repurpose your content. You know, you're not having to make a whole different... I do that with my blog posts all the time. Most of my YouTube videos are coming from a blog post that I've already written, and so then I use that as my script, so I'm not creating like two separate things. It's being able to then use that. But some things to think about is how good are you on camera? You know, how much energy is that gonna take out of you? Because I think people often underestimate it. I think especially for introverts like me who have very little energy. But even extroverts too. It's very... People underestimate how much really goes into this. And you know, if you are using the content from a blog post, you'll have to think through, are you the kind of person who can just like take this knowledge that you used for this written piece to then just speak it out? Or are you the kind of person that you do need to be following that blog post like a script? And then are you able to actually speak it naturally and not sound like you're reading it from a script, you know? Which, you know, it's totally fine and totally normal, actually, if you start off and your videos are poop, because that's how when you start anything new. So do keep that in mind. You're probably gonna suck at first, but you get better, just like any other skill, just like learning guitar, just like learning to write blog posts, right? You improve with mileage, with time and practice and effort. But that's something that you will need to keep in mind if you're giving it a try. Because again, on the one hand, you save a lot of time than writing like a complete whole blog post or doing a complete different video. You're repurposing that content, but you're still having to, set up your area and think through what you're gonna say and then speak it and do it good. Not like this. To do it well. Oh gosh. And then cut things when you're being too much of a goofball. Or leave it in because some people find that nice. Speaking from personal experience, just as one person, I know it's different for everyone, but I I'm a much better writer than speaker, and so these videos are they take a lot of energy out of me. They really, really do. But because, like I said before, of so many people are just on YouTube, I'm wanting to give some more focus there than on my blog personally. And also because just when you get to see someone's face, it's so different than reading their work. Like you can still like connect with someone over their words, but it's so different to be able to see their face and their mannerisms and I don't know why I'm moving like that. And hear their voice. Did I say that one already? You know what I'm saying? It's just you get to really see someone's personality when they are on camera. And you don't have to be on camera for YouTube videos. There's so many really great videos out there that are just audio, like you just speaking over top of maybe like a slideshow or some, just kind of like B-roll clips in there of random different things. And so you don't even have to show your face if you don't want to, but people like to see your face. Next question, Geraldine on Twitter asks, what's something you wish you knew when you started making YouTube videos? There's probably a lot of little things, but the first thing that comes to mind is that it's really okay to go at my own pace. I obsessed over looking into like, oh, how much do I need to post to be successful? And the whole like quality versus quantity thing. And, I had a fairly good mindset of, of course, like obviously quality is better than quantity because like people aren't going to want to come back to your channel if you're just like who cares if you're keeping to a schedule if you're not putting out anything good, right? It's better to have something good that you're proud of that people are actually going to want to watch, even if it comes at a slower schedule. So I think I started off with an okay mindset. I think especially from having learned all that through blogging. But I think I still felt like, well, I have to at least do this. And so I put way too much pressure on myself to still be like hitting good quality stuff out at a certain pace, and it was killing me. Like I said, these videos really do take a lot out of me because one, like I put a lot of, well, I mean, not this one because it's about me, but all my other videos, I have so much that goes into it for research and just making sure I'm wording things right. And I want to make sure my tone is coming out right and all of the things. So it just takes a lot of energy out of me. Whew. But I've been learning that even if I have to go slower than what feels right, I think it's okay to lean into my strength, and that is that I am someone who pursues excellence, and why not use each video as a learning experience? I love learning and I love getting better at what I do, but when I'm just trying to hurry to get stuff out, like it started to become stale. Like I just felt like I was going through the motions and just like, I just gotta get this video out, and like I think they're okay videos. Like, I don't think they were bad at all, but I want to do better. Like, for myself at least, I just want to keep getting better. And if I don't have time to get better if I'm just going, doing, filming. So that it's okay for me to slow down, to learn, like to give myself time to actually learn and apply things and experiment, because that's when I get creative, when I have less time restrictions holding me down, but like I feel more at ease and I can just spend some more time thinking up creative ideas, experimenting, and having fun with it. Because I think I was also very rigid in the beginning, so letting myself be able to have fun with it and experiment, yeah. And especially that in the beginning of time of your YouTube channel is the best time to experiment. So for any new YouTubers out there, I highly recommend that you just, like, you don't have to find your pattern, your way of doing things right away. Like, you can just try things out, have fun, see what works well for you. You might find something really awesome and unique, or something that just feels right for you. So yeah, that's my answer, that I wish I knew that it really is okay to go at my own pace, to take my time to learn and push myself, and not like under such pressure to do well, but for fun and for my own growth, you know, to keep working on things and spend a little bit more time in the creative process of it and have fun. My girl Melissa on Twitter asks, if you could change anything in the world right now, what would it be? Whew, she's coming at us with the deep ones, y'all. Oh man, can I do, like, you know how they say, like, well, I guess they usually say that you can't do this, but with genies, you know, when you're like, you get 3 wishes and your first wish is, I wish for 1,000,000 wishes. Can my one thing that I changed about the world is that I can change all of the things about the world? Just kidding, I don't think I want that kind of power. But one thing. Okay, this is probably gonna sound cheesy and is like such the typical answer, but I really, like, if you could only change one thing, this one thing, I believe, impacts everything, and that would be love. Like, I wish I could just, like, get a syringe and just, like just insert some love into people, man. And this would include some self-love too, right? Because love, gotta love yourself as well. Which, by the way, I just feel it on my heart to say that if you're someone watching this video right now and you're struggling to love yourself, maybe you feel like others haven't been loving you well or at all, I need you to know that, my friend, you are loved. I can promise you that you have worth. Whether you see it or not, you have unique strengths. That's just what comes with being a human. We all have unique strengths and weaknesses. And so, my friend, you have something to offer this world. And I want you to see that. I want you to know that. You also have a unique story that no one else has. And if that's included some really bad experiences, then I first of all want to say that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you've had to go through that. But it's not just words. It really is a thing that it does make you stronger. I mean, there are things I've heard from other people that, like, I can't even imagine, and I honestly think you are so strong for having made it through what you have gone through. Yeah, I needed you to know that you are loved and you have worth. So, back to the question about changing the world. Love, man. Like, I mean, think about it. All of the crimes, all of the division, so many things could be solved if we were just able to love each other. You know, you wouldn't be cheating people if you loved them. You would be actually helping people. You'd be taking care of the homeless and the orphan and your neighbor down the street, and you would actually care about other people. You wouldn't be trying to get ahead of other people, but you would actually be lifting others up so that we could all be successful, and that would bring true peace. And that's my answer to the question. So next question is, what's the last movie you watched? So yeah, the last movie I watched was a Pokemon movie. It was The Power of Us. and it was adorable. Pokemon power! Melissa asks, what's your favorite part about being a blogger and YouTuber? Oh, there's so many good things. It's been great. It's been, well, ups and downs. There's been some stress, I'm not gonna lie, but there's been so many good things. I think I would have to say that my favorite thing that has come out of this so far is the connections and the friendships I've made. There's people that I've met that I would have never met, never ever, had I not started my blog or my YouTube channel. Connections that I've made because I reached out to other bloggers or YouTubers on Twitter, and yeah, there's been so many good connections and met so many really awesome people. But I've even made some really good friends, and man, my heart. And that includes friends from not just across the country, which is really cool, but from across the freaking world. Okay, so I'm gonna tell on myself. I feel a little weird because I have friends from England, but little Anna, I've always had a really big interest in England, and I literally wrote it down on my bucket list of, I'm going to make a friend from England. And I thought, like, that would never actually happen. And then now, thanks to the internet, I have so many friends from England, and it's awesome. And now it's weird because it's weird because it feels normal now. Like, whenever I first met some of you, I felt really nervous, and I didn't know this little American who's never left the country. I didn't know how much of a culture shock it would be, and so I was nervous I was gonna like offend someone, or they would find out that I don't like tea and they wouldn't want to be my friend. But now I have good friends from England, and it's literally a dream come true. But I have friends from different countries, and that just, I don't know, that's just so cool to me that because of the internet, I know people from all around the world. Woo! Ola from Twitter asks, what makes you happy? I like this question because it makes me happy to talk about what makes me happy. Let's see here. So, my husband makes me happy. My family makes me happy. Hot chocolate makes me happy. Good friendships. Good conversation. That all makes me happy. A good story makes me happy, whether it's in a book or hearing a good story from real life or a movie or a TV show. Just love me a good story that makes me happy. The color purple makes me happy. Fall. Whoo! I can't wait. Right now, when I'm filming this, it's still summertime, and I went disc golfing this morning, and it was super hot out. Oh, I hate summer. Even like my whole aesthetic is built for fall, man. I'm not good. Like, I don't have very many good summer clothes. It just isn't my style. I mean, clearly I wear a lot of black. And yeah, a lot of black and dark purples. But fall, man, I can get my cute, comfy clothes out. That makes me happy. Getting to step on those crunchy leaves, that makes me happy. Getting to smell cinnamon in the air, and pumpkin pie, and apple pie, and all the fall things. That makes me really happy. And winter, and Christmas, and my birthday, and games. I really like games, board games, and video games, and playing with friends. And yeah. Oh, and doggos. I forgot doggos. Super cute doggos, floofy doggos, big doggos, little doggos, all the doggos. They make me happy. The beautiful Danielle from Twitter asks, do you have fears in life? I like the way you worded that. Do you have fears? No, Danielle. I'm perfect and I'm brave. I have lots of fears. Asking the deep questions again. Man, here we go. Okay, let's get some more hot chocolate. Okay, but for real, we're gonna have some chocolate to handle these questions. And it says, your vibe attracts your tribe. I don't know what vibe I'm getting off right now while I eat this chocolate, but what up, tribe? Hope you're attracted. Okay, so do you have fears in life? How do you deal with them? Have you overcome any? Well, I must confess to you all that I have not yet overcome my fear of chickens. I'm being totally serious. Chickens, man, like, or birds in general are just, like, they're really beautiful from afar, but the thought of one coming at me and pecking out my eyeballs, you know, they've got, like, these soulless eyes, like, just these black... It's scary. Chickens, you know, they have these little, like, and they're like... they peck at you. I don't know, I've never actually been attacked by a chicken, but I've heard stories, and that's enough for me. So I'll give you something deeper than chickens. So one of my greatest fears is not being good enough. That's been one of my biggest struggles throughout my life, with perfectionism and being afraid of disappointing people, letting other people down. I think I get embarrassed pretty easily. And yeah, just not being able to do my best or just to feel like I'm failing. It sucks. And how do I deal with fears? Ooh, man, I could do like a whole video series on that. It's a lot of self-talk work. And you can check out this video I have on the lies that we believe, because I had a whole self-talk series kind of talking through some lies that we tell ourselves. I mentioned that because some of them involved that are connected to fears. And that's one of the ways I work to overcome it, is working on my self-talk, talking myself through these things. Honestly, I know you're gonna hate this answer, but one of the best ways to overcome fear is to do the thing. Do the thing that makes you scared, because, again, I know I've said this on my blog and channel before, but courage isn't a lack of fear, but it is doing the thing that you were afraid of. It's doing the thing in spite of fear. It's doing it scared. That's where there's real bravery. I often use this analogy of, so you have two people who are skydiving, right? There's one person that's really afraid of jumping out of that airplane, and one person that's like, yeah, let's do it, and they're just completely fearless. You know, it's often associated that the person that's just like jumping out, they're fearless, that person's brave. I would challenge that thinking. I think the person that actually is the most courageous there is the person who is afraid and doing it anyway. Because the other person, they don't have anything to overcome. If they're not afraid of it, it's just like, I don't know, eating soup. Like, if you're not afraid of soup, that, you know, it doesn't take bravery to eat soup, you know. Why am I using that example? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not something that's scary to them, so they didn't use any courage in that. They might have before, maybe, if it's something that they've overcome, but like, if they're someone who they're just not even afraid, that's not really courage. The person that has the most courage is the one that's afraid but taking action anyways, doing the things that scare them. So I say that to encourage you, anyone out there, that if you're afraid of something, just know that if you're doing it, that's courage. You're way braver than you know. If you are doing the things that scare you, you are courageous. I started going on I can't help it. This is my channel. This is where I start speaking the truths out. I started to get away from myself. But yes, I have overcome some fears. My word last year, was it last year? Yes, was experience. And I documented myself doing things to experience life, and some of that involved facing fears, like shaving my head. And I did this experiment that's probably going to sound really silly to you, but I have this fear around, or I did like had this fear around humor of just I wasn't sure like, do people think I'm funny? And I would delete my tweets right away if no one liked it within a couple minutes. So I did this experiment where like I forced myself to tell jokes on Twitter. I didn't tell anybody, that's why I was doing it. And so I made this video about that. And then in January, one of my other biggest fears is public speaking. Like, this is hard enough doing YouTube videos. I mean, like, most of my videos, this one isn't, but most of my videos are scripted. But the thought of doing, like, like improv especially, but even just speaking in front of a group of people, even if I have, like, my script, it's really scary. So that's something that, well, I've done that multiple times, but this past January was my first time like at like an official gig of like someone invited me to come speak to their group of ladies. I was very proud of myself. But that's something else that I've faced, and I've been, yeah, especially, well, I feel like that's kind of been my whole life. I've been the kind of person that yes, I have a lot of things that I'm afraid of, but I like to push myself and do things that I'm scared of. Like, I was the person in high school, like, I didn't plan on trying out for a play, but my friend convinced me, so just, like, the day of was just like, oh, gonna go audition for this play now, and, like, it was, like, I somehow keep ending up in scenarios where it's like, okay, let's do this, before I let the fear sink in. Maybe that's another tip that I would give you. Don't let yourself think about it, because you're gonna psych yourself out. Just, like, I'm gonna go do, well, maybe I should add something there of like, obviously if it's like something dangerous or maybe think about that first. But if it's not life-threatening, just go do it before you have a chance to get afraid. But yeah, so especially over these past couple years, I've been trying to push myself in this area. I want to do things. I don't want to let fear limit me. I don't want to let fear make my decisions for me. I want to do the things and not let fear get in the way. So yeah, to sum that all up, I have a lot of fears, but I am trying to not let them hold me back. Danielle also asks, what is one of your proudest moments? I think I'm going to say that one of my proudest moments is being valedictorian at my college. I mean, it's not like it was a huge school with a lot of competition, but man, I earned that sucker. Like, the majority of my classes were surprisingly difficult, for being the kind of college it was. But I pursue excellence. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell a little story to go with this, kind of behind the reason why I feel like I can be proud of it. So at the end of my senior year, after I knew that I was going to be valedictorian, I just kind of started overthinking things and just wondering, like, well, was it worth it? So I had often in my time at college heard people say how, like, it's not about the grades, it's about the relationships. And I was thinking, like, I'm not paying thousands. Well, my parents so kindly, I'm eternally grateful. They helped me out they paid for college for me. And so, yeah, but my parents did not pay thousands of dollars for me to make friends. I can make friends anywhere. I am here. We are paying for my education, so that's what I'm gonna get. Surprisingly, I did have friends. But that was my mindset going in, so I often chose studying or doing homework over going out with friends. I mean, I did hang out with friends, but just not as much as probably the average person there. I mean, once again, I was valedictorian, so, but, but by the end of college, I started just having these doubts of, well, should I have done more? Should I have spent more time with these people that I may never see again? Should I have invested more in these relationships? Did I make enough of an impact? Am I leaving these people, in a better place than when I found them? Like, did I have that good positive impact? Or was I just hiding in my room too much? But then we had this awards ceremony thing, just basic end of the year kind of thing. And I was voted student of the year. And it was a student voted thing. And I was shocked. Like, it's still, even just thinking about it today, like, I am just blown away that, because I wasn't like I was, usually that would go to someone who's more popular. But they voted for me. And I went back to my dorm room after, and I sobbed. I sobbed and I cried and I cried, and because this thing, these doubts that I had of, well, was it worth it? Should I have spent more time with people? This having gotten that award was my answer to that. It was, yes, you made a bigger impact than you even realized. And so I feel like because of that, that's why I can be proud of that accomplishment that I was valedictorian, because I feel like without that, I still always would have had just those little lingering doubts of like, yes, I did this, but I I should have been spending more time with people. And yeah, my time in working in the tutoring center, and because sometimes people would come in there not just for homework help, but for like life advice and relationship advice, and I tried to encourage everybody I met, and I guess it just had more of an impact than I realized. So yeah, that's one of my proudest moments. ENFJ Sage from Twitter asks, what 3 types do you think you would be if you were to find out you were not INFJ, and why? Getting into some Myers-Briggs related questions. Yay. I love that stuff. This is actually kind of hard because I'm kind of that was kind of contradicting. I'm kind of very much a classic textbook INFJ, and I actually lucked out on, so I say that any of those online tests, it's very hard to actually figure out your type based on them, because first of all, it involves a lot of self-awareness, and with this kind of typology, there's so much that's unconscious that makes up your types. So it's really hard to be self-aware and figuring that out. But then on top of that, like, even if you're self-aware, it's just really hard to take a test without having someone to, like, having a human brain to kind of interpret your reasoning behind your answers, because it's all up to interpretation, and the reason why one person does something versus the reason another person does something could be very different reasons, right? So that's why I highly recommend that if you want to figure out your personality type, you have someone else help you with that. So have someone, maybe some kind of profiling session, or, if it's the official Myers-Briggs type indicator, I think part of their process is you take that test and then they talk you through it with the person afterwards. And I've talked about this before, but I have lots of people I can recommend to you. Not lots. I have a few people, a few trusted people I can recommend to you for profiling sessions if you're wanting to find out your type. And that's something I'm going to be offering in the future. But back to this question. What would my type be? Okay, so even though I'm definitely an INFJ, I occasionally have my doubts. And like, even within this past year, sometimes I'll feel like I'm just totally sucking at the cognitive function, extroverted feeling, which is an INFJ's second function, their auxiliary function. And so I'll be like, maybe I'm not an INFJ. Look how bad I am with the people and the but then I try to think of like, well, what else could I be? Or I'll have a day where I'm doing really good with that TI, that introverted thinking. So I'm like, maybe I'm an INTP because look how great I am at TI. And then I go talk to INTPs and I'm like, definitely not an INTP. Okay, so man, but what three types do you think I would be if I was not an INFJ? Well, so man, I guess I would say INTJ, mainly because of we have the INTJ and INFJ have the same first and fourth function, introverted intuition, and then their fourth one is extroverted sensing. So we have that same dichotomy. We have that same difference. We have that same strength and weakness. So, because it really is like your first function, you lean into it so heavily and so far away from the other one. Yeah. So that just makes the most sense. And maybe I'm better with with the clearly not. I can't even speak with the extroverted thinking than I think I am. And because, sometimes with female thinker types, it actually just because of, American culture, the women who are thinker types, that can kind of be softened than what you see with male thinker types. And then also the opposite is true um, with feeler men. Can sometimes look like a thinker type just because of conditioning of what we put on men. So yeah, so I could be, so especially as a woman, I could easily be, well, not easily. I guess that's my next guess is I would be an INTJ. And then secondly, I would maybe say like an ENFJ, but I feel like yeah, like maybe okay, so maybe if we said that I was an ENFJ with social anxiety, so that's why I seem so introverted and awkward and not good at the peopling. Because every ENFJ that I've met has just been amazing and in the realm of people because they have their lead function is extroverted feeling and they are just whew, like they are my role models of they are just like a braver version of me. So we could say that. We could say INTJ, ENFJ. Yeah, I'm too I'm also very I'm too there's unless if I am just totally assessing myself wrong with how I am with introverted thinking, which is my tertiary function, but it's the inferior function for ENFJ. Um, yeah, it feels like that fits right in the third place for me, but I feel like I'm way too I definitely get into those like NITI loops, not I don't ever get in extroverted loops. I don't get stuck in extroverting. So yeah, INTJ, ENFJ. Man, what would the third one be? Maybe like runners up would be something like a. I mean, again, maybe like the whole female thing of like softening if I was like an INTP. Like I still know. I'm definitely I can't no. I'm definitely an FJ. So yeah, let's just go with like ISFJ or something that maybe being raised by intuitive parents had an effect on me. So yeah, INTJ, ENFJ, ISFJ. But I'm definitely an INFJ. So ENFJ Sage also asks, what two types do you most get along with and or like the most? I'm gonna get in trouble if I do the like the most one. All of them are beautiful in their own special ways. I say that in a silly way, but I genuinely do believe that every single type, I mean, they obviously they each have different strengths and weaknesses, so I find something beautiful in every single one of them. I will say that there are a couple types that still scare me. Every time I've ever met one in real life, it's frightening to me, but I really want because like on still like on paper I can easily see, the strengths, the awesome things that they bring to the world and why we need them. Um, but I am on a search right now to find healthy versions of them so that I can not be so I can yeah, just so I can have good examples of people in real life. And I'm not gonna say which types they are, but So which ones do I get most along with? I think I'm gonna go with the types that I most get along with. Oh, I said two, not three. Crap. Okay, how do I narrow it down to two? Whoo! I like them all. I like a lot of types. I get along with pretty, I don't know if anyone's ever had an issue with me in real life with like not liking me or like having something against me. So I feel like I can get along with almost anyone. But I guess I would have to say if I had to pick two, ENFP, because there's just something about that type that really, ooh, we just click so well. I haven't met an ENFP yet that we always have good conversations right away because they are often in this like kind of intuition, like this abstract kind of world with me, and we often end up liking very similar things like personality or just, I don't know, we just have really good deep conversations. But since they're an extrovert and with that extrovert intuition, they're often quicker at like asking really good questions or just because I feel like I really struggle when I'm with other introverts because then I feel it's like harder because then I'm having to think of things to say or to ask. So it's just kind of like slow moving to get conversation going until we find something to latch onto. But with an extrovert, especially an ENFP, they usually give me enough to go with. Because if I have something to at least work with, to go off of, then I'm pretty good. And I often can even, I feel like, come across as if I'm an extrovert when I'm with someone like that. Because I don't know. Yeah, every ENFP I've ever met, the conversation, we're just like bouncing off of each other and it's wonderful and I love it. And then, what do I get? I guess I'd say INFJ. I really get along well with fellow INFJs, but that's one, again, where it takes us a while to kind of get into conversation because usually so far the INFJs that I've met in real life, we're just kind of feeling each other out and it's like, okay, what do we talk about? It's kind of hard to find that starting topic, but then once we get into some good deep stuff or find something that the other person relates to, because inevitably we're going to find something that not many other people relate to, but they relate to, and it's like, oh my gosh, you too, and it's this beautiful moment of bonding and connection and feeling like, hey, someone actually understands me, and it's good. Denim Unicorn from Twitter asks, you could have any food from any movie or book. What would it be? Man, I wish I had some more time to think on this one because I could surely come up with something even better. But my first thought is to say lembas bread from The Lord of the Rings. In the movies, Legolas says that one small bite is enough to fill a grown man. And man, being made by the elves, like it's gotta taste good too. And I sometimes just get tired of cooking and sometimes even eating. And sometimes when I get really focused on my work, I even forget to eat until much later in the day, but it would be so great to just like take a little bite of something and feel satisfied. And you'd be able to travel anywhere and not have to carry all of this food, but you just have this little, wrapped up in the leaves and Lord of the Rings is my favorite series of books and movies, so gotta say something from that. And if I'm allowed to choose a drink as well, I want to say the hot chocolate from the movie The Santa Claus. The hot chocolate that Judy makes it is apparently the most perfect hot chocolate ever, and that just sounds amazing. So, in normal awkward Anna fashion, I totally forgot to record the ending to this video, so you're just gonna have to listen to the beautiful sound of my voice. Okay, so the giveaway I talked about, you have a chance to enter from September 7th to September 12th. I am giving away an undated planner from my favorite planner company, Bloom Daily Planners, and also a t-shirt from my store that says Creative Geeks Have All the Fun, 2 of my bookmark designs, and 2 awesome Pokemon stickers from Meg Ray Art. You can enter by going to the link in the description down below and using the form there. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to everyone who submitted questions. At the end of this video, I am giving a little shout out to my patrons, because in case if you didn't know, I have a Patreon page, and I'm so grateful to everyone who supports me through that and through my Ko-fi page as well. It really helps me to cover the expenses of everything that I do, and your support means so much to me, so look out for that. And until next time, keep it real.